Hey there, everybody. Welcome behind the scenes here at Jamie Riddler Studios. I'm Jamie, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. I'm going to continue this trend of sharing vulnerable things. The truth is that this is where, for me, my creative inspiration comes from, is looking at my life and processing it a bit, thinking it through, looking for threads, and then sharing in the hopes that it is helpful in your creative life too. So, here I want to share with you today one of the things that I have done consistently that has ended up causing me way more pain than productivity, or pain versus results, or just I've made myself suffer so needlessly on this particular road. So, I want to share it with you so you don't do the same. And that is trying to find a solution, trying to figure out my life, treating my life as though it were a puzzle to be solved, and my work too, as if there were out there some perfect platonic form of what my life was meant to be or my work was meant to be. And if I could just find the secret key, if I could just open it up, then everything would be revealed to me. And I would be able to move forward with confidence and surety and know that I would get the results that I yearn for in my heart. It doesn't work like that, I'm sorry to say. And I have suffered so much and worked so hard, because when you believe that, you think all I have to do is work harder to figure it out. All I have to do is find the right person to tell me how it works, or fill out more worksheets, or write in my journal more, or hire a consultant, or take another class. And if I keep looking harder, and I'm willing to work hard for this, I'm willing to work the hardest for this, and then it'll be like this magical little puzzle that will open up. But I'll tell you, it just isn't like that. There is no, I feel like I'm destroying the golden egg at the end of the journey. But there is no one right way. There is no pure, singular, identifiable, one sentence purpose. There is no surety. There isn't. Instead, so for me, where I have got the most joy, the most courage, the most results, the most bang for my buck, is changing my metaphor. So if I stop thinking of my life and my work and myself, my heart, as a puzzle, and I think of it as an adventure. And this is something I always say, life is an adventure. Then suddenly things change for me. Then I can see that there are wonderful options. There are so many that, in fact, sometimes it's hard to choose. But I can't know the future. I can't be sure of my results. And goodness knows, right now, in our current state, in this pandemic, we recognize that there is no certainty. Right? There is no guarantee results. But what there can be is being an adventurer, being bold and courageous and curious about what's possible, about having the skills to step into the unknown. And as artists, as creatives, we train in that. We show up to the blank page. We show up to the empty canvas. We show up to the studio going, I have no idea what I'm going to do today, but let me move until something catches my body, or I find a phrase or a word or a color. And that's the in to the adventure that I'm going to go on right now. And then it becomes this exploration of who I am, the lens I have, the unique soul and spirit I have. This I can count on. And this interesting thread, project, color, word, and where it's going to take me. And we dance together and go on an adventure of discovery. So one thing where I think we can find some certainty, even though we are in ourselves, we are allowed to be encouraged to be a bit fluid, to grow, to not become fixed. But knowing our inner compass in this moment, that we can count on. What's important to me? What matters to me? What is fulfilling to me? What do I love? What am I devoted to? What am I willing to commit to? What does my compass point to? And let that be my guide on the next adventure. And I just want to say something too about maybe the difference between artists and entrepreneurs, because I know many of us are both. I'm both. But the journey is a little bit different. As an artist, it's like we know and tune into ourselves. We're grounded in our inner compass. And then we get excited by a project, an idea. And we go into this intimate relationship with that thing. We get to know it. It becomes channeled through our unique lens, perspective, personality, and it starts to become a thing. And this relationship is everything, right? I often say what we create creates us. So we bring what we are, and that informs what we create. But what we create also gives us the opportunity to transform and transmute into something new. We learn more, we gain more insight, we become more experienced. There's this alchemy that happens when we make something, and we are both the project and ourselves. We are impacted by one another. And then eventually we may or may not come to the fork in the road where we share it with people. I call this performance. This is when we start to go, hey, this thing and I, we have this relationship, and now we're gonna share with you. And we want to be able to share with you in a way that you understand, where you fall in love with this creation in the same way that I did. And this is different than the entrepreneur, where the entrepreneur's relationship is, hey, you and me. Let me hear what you need. Let me hear what you're aching for, and let me find a way to create that for you. So it's the same triad, yourself, the project, and the receiver, but it comes in a slightly different direction. Me and the project, me and the receiver. And this is really, really helpful to know when you are creating, and if you have a sense of why you are creating what you are creating. So I guess the main thread that I am trying to share with you here today is to be brave and be courageous and become an adventurer who's willing to step into the unknown. Let go of trying to control the end result, because you can't. And stop stressing and suffering about trying to figure out that puzzle, because it's not a puzzle, it's a path. And instead of sitting here with like steam coming out of your ears, look up. Feel into your inner compass. Look for what inspires you. Move towards it. Dance with it. Learn. Grow. Go. And doing this again and again and again will create for you a magnificent, daring, wild, true, authentic, creative life. And that's what I want for you. So I hope you take that away with you, and it inspires some deep thought, some brave action, and some open-heartedness. And just before I go, I wanted to say something about the BTS and timing. I so love sharing this with you, and I know I try to be very regular with doing it. So I want to let you know it's going to come in later in the day, as it has been since I've returned. And that's because, particularly now during this pandemic, I've given myself two strong priorities. One is rest and sleep, and the other is writing. And so I am absolutely giving myself permission to get the sleep I need before I start my day, and then to start that day with writing. And then the very next thing I do is come and be here with you on Tuesdays. I hope you have a magnificent day, and that this concept of moving from puzzle to adventure, from puzzle solver to explorer and adventurer, has some great resonance for you. I'll see you next week. Bye.